Just let it ride. Let's let it ride. We ain't heard it in months. What happened? Just a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is the show that's starring you. Ladies and gentlemen, the So What Morning Show has returned to RMC on air. Who thought we would be back?
You never know.
You never know.
In the words of my grandmama, baby, you don't never know what dog's ass you're going to have to kiss before you leave this world.
Well, damn, what kind of kennel...
Hey, man.
The kennel philosophy.
She used to hit him. The cow need his tail more than once the fan flies, baby.
The country veterinarian laws, right?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, So What Morning Show back in the building. Listen, the phones are live. 323-965-1600. That is the number to dial. I urge you to get to the phone lines right now. So What Mornings back in the building. And today, there is no Dr. Goulston because he's making money. Okay, but he'll be here next week. He's making money. But
Shout
the
out.
rest of the team and guests are in the building. But as is commonplace, you know how I get down. I like to do a little book selection first. So, with that said, starter kit book. If you are a young practicing wizard of manipulation,
Oh, yeah.
right? Mm-hmm. Gotta get The 48 Laws of Power.
By Robert Greene.
Yes, The 48 Laws of Power. Excellent book. I was walking down the street, earlier this morning going to Starbucks to get something to drink. And just a random thug saw me with this book and said, "Yo, homie, you need to read that 100 times, homie." Yeah, it's a good book. He started talking about the other books and he was like, "It'll teach you how to manipulate folks." And I was like, well, the thugs are reading it, so it must be pretty good.
Yeah, the only thing is thugs and prisoners are the only ones who have time to read one book 100 times. Okay, I can get it maybe with the first browse through and then another hit. The other 98, that's about just push-ups and baloney and orange jumpsuits. That's the only way you got time.
48 Laws of Power, of course. You can also get The Laws of Seduction, which is a great book. You can also get The Art of War. Robert Greene, great book. And as a matter of fact, Robert Greene helped 50 write his book, The 50th Law, which is predicated on some of this through the filter of who 50 Cent is. Great book.
Yeah.
Got to check it out. Another book, pretty good one. A friend of mine, a long-lost friend of mine, came back into my life and told me to read this. The Science of Success, How Market-Based Management Built the World's Largest Private Company, Charles G. Koch. A lot of people work for people that, have a founder that created a philosophy that, at the job, the philosophy is almost religious and cult-like. This is one of them situations. Don't mean it ain't good, but if you work for these people, you're in the hive.
That's hilarious.
So I want you to check it out. It's a great book, good stuff.
Drone.
And this is a book a old friend of ours told me to get people, or told me to read and then told me to pass it on to people. Lewis Dix.
Oh, my God.
Gave me this book and told me, to get down with it. It's a pretty incredible book, though, because Lewis gave this to his son. It's called Making a Good Brain Great. And it's really a health management book for your brain. So you can accentuate your intelligence. So you can, the brain and its ability to remember is all about its ability to be elastic or remain elastic. Once the brain starts to calcify in certain areas and you lose that elasticity, that's when you lose memory, that's when you lose function. Great book. Lewis Dix told us to get it out there.
That's why you shouldn't swallow gum, because it get hard. Okay. Good brain.
Do you want to follow that? Great. Just follow that thought. Let's hear. Gum and swallowing.
Yeah. Well, then your intestinal juices break it down, but only so far. And then the elements that make the gum chewy go to different parts of the body and harden, and one of those would be the brain. So hence making you forget.
This is like a gel MD.
Yeah.
That
is
so gum creates kidney stones.
You know what? That's the kind of shit you throw out when you're high. You throw it out. You around other people that's high. Oh, I love doing that. Other people that's high don't swallow your gum. It'll make aliens come in your stomach.
Oh, no.
Okay, now we've gone too far.
I'm trying to tell you. You
Listen,
gotta see their faces.
I'm not going to give a description for this book. I'm just going to tell folk, go get it.
Okay.
It just covers. Okay, history. That's all. That's all I'm gonna give you. History. Genesis of the Grail Kings. Right, by Lawrence Gardner. I'm not gonna tell you.
Genesis.
It's really ill.
Genesis of the Grail Kings.
Yes, the explosive story of genetic cloning and the ancient bloodline of Jesus.
What?
Oh yeah, I got that tattooed on my arm. You think I'm lying?
Let's see it. Look at. I don't want to say it. No, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want
What you
to.
got on your arm? Let me see.
The Merovingian, the bloodline of the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Talk history with him.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
this is. Hey,
oh, and
I'm
I got a
telling
nice
you,
muscle tone. Look at that chocolate. Look good. I'm sorry.
what kind of self-masturbation is going on up in
I
here?
just might.
Okay, he done got 5-hour energy and some
Chocolate.
pit bull. He's off the chain
no,
right now.
No, don't give him anything.
Motherfucker got a cocktail.
Some crack.
He got the Merovingian on his arm and Lee Harvey Oswald on his shirt.
Thank you. He called it.
Come on. Come on,
is all-
Tom. Come on.
Oh, boy.
This is the birth of the black terrorists.
Yes.
Okay, it's all good.
Genesis of the Grail Kings.
Genesis of the Grail Kings, gotta get it. I'm not gonna go into it. It's an incredible book.
Yes, it is.
And then, of course, my book, The Rebirth of Seeds. Listen, in order to get my book or my t-shirt, I'm wearing one of my Go Deeper t-shirts, and I want to say thank you to everybody out there who has supported the Go Deeper movement, Zo What, the whole show movement. Go to IamZoeWilliams.com. You can pick up a copy of my book. I will personally autograph it for you and send it to you. That's what we're doing. And I appreciate everybody for supporting so far. Please go check out the shirts. Zo What? So what? Go Deeper shirt. Get at me.
High quality shirts too, not the kind you're gonna wind up washing your car with next summer. You know, that's what you do on bullshit t-shirt. You ain't got nothing else to do with it. It is a cotton fabric, so I just cut mine down the middle and wash my car. Utility towels, you know.
He's
people-
talking about the type of shirts you can find on my website.
Okay,
Damn.
So,
Here we go.
Sotomayor.
So listen, I'm gonna take a quick break, and when I come back, I'm gonna introduce all the guests in the building, and we'll get into the topic and questions. Zo What Morning, back in the building. RMCOnAir.com. We'll be back. Ladies and gentlemen, Zo What, back in the building. The t-shirts are for sale. Somebody in the chat room told me to say the website again. It is IamZoeWilliams.com. Also, don't forget to call us right now. You know this is a call-driven show, and we want to hear from you. 323-965-1600. Somebody give me a holler right now. Now, today's topic is going to be crazy, but before I do that, we have some guests in the building, and I want to start with everyone's favorite. Everybody loves to see her.
Yes,
She's back
Lord.
yes. She's back in the building.
She's perfect. We got to check for a navel. I think she's cloned. Sweet Lord.
So sweet.
Oh my God.
Describe her, Jeff, really quickly.
Oh my God. Just 6'3", just a a pile of caramel. Just, oh my God, I would just...
Tall enough to make high heels useless.
You want to boil her panties and make tea. That's the kind of, oh my sweet...
What type of pussy
expose?
tea?
Have I overexposed? Did I overshare?
See, that's okay.
Oh my God, she is just...
That's a tonic, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You guys are so sweet.
Good for what ail you. Words of my grandmama.
Oh,
Good for what ails you?
Sweet Jesus, that's a good-looking woman.
Yes. Ladies and
just
gentlemen,
saying.
without further ado, Margo Hudson
Hey.
has returned to the
Cut
Zoe
her
West Show.
damn camera on.
Thanks for having me.
Look at that.
Christ
Look
alive.
at that.
Somebody just said, Margo, marry me.
Oh my gosh, she could run my Porsche over a cliff and it's okay. It's okay. You gonna do that thing you do with the all right.
You gonna do that thing? What is that thing? Describe.
I can't say it. It's worse than the tea. It's worse than the tea.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we have another friend on the line. Not on the line. We're not going to take the calls right now, but callers, stay. Please continue to call. We're going to take all your calls once we break out the topics and ask the questions. We want you to participate. 323-965-1600. We have another friend of the show. I've done his show a couple of times. He's done Corey's show as well. When we get together, we be cutting up. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Controversy. A lot of black women was mad at me. Why I ain't gonna listen to you? I'll listen next week when you have another guest. Why you bring this old ornery, angry, chocolate hating, mad? I said, hey, the dude sometimes got great points.
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation. Even Jesus says, let us sit down and reason.
Just come let us
Can we
reason
reason?
together.
Let us reason together. Ladies and gentlemen,
The one, the only.
the one, the only. God dang it, he's here. Tommy Sotomayor is in the building. Aw, shit.
Yes.
What's up, people?
How are you, man?
I'm fine. That's what the lady said, but them pictures was old.
What pictures?
And, okay, scene. Right.
I did not know it was that early in the morning.
Exactly.
It is.
Exactly.
I
So
get
let
it,
me do
man.
this really quickly. Today's topic, because I hear this a lot. I mean, you and I, we've done this relationship roundtable, Battle of the Sexes.
Oh my God! Shout out to
Tiffany
Tiff
and Charles. Yeah, man, they do a great thing. I hear women say this all the time. You ain't got your shit together,
Yeah.
right? What does it mean to have your shit together? And if your shit is together, or politically correct, if your stuff is together, does that automatically qualify you as quality relationship material?
If your feces are collected.
Right. Does that raise your relationship market value because your shit is together? And if your shit being together is subjective, then why is this a pervasive rule? Your shit must be together in order to get me. What if your list of things that make your shit being together, that qualify as your shit being together, was born out of hurt? Yeah, a lot of women create a lot of relationship rules and principles and standards from getting their heart's ass kicked. Am I lying? 323-965-1600. Somebody get on the phone lines and talk to us. I have a group of people here who can speak to this topic.
Now that the dollar is about to crash, what you gonna compare? How do you, now that when there ain't no dollars, all you ignorant niggas out there taking pictures of dollars in your mouth and all over the place. Now, once they worth monopoly money, how you gonna judge me now?
I'm going to go to Mr. Controversy.
Let's ask.
What does it mean to have your shit together? And why does that seem to be the overriding prerequisite for even getting in a relationship? Have your shit together. What does it mean?
Well, let me tell you something. It's one of those globulous statements that black women make that really don't mean anything, because you don't really hear other races of women say, have your shit together. It's just our women that say these weird terms. Have your shit together. They're just weird because they don't have an answer for it. They can't tell you exactly what it is. You ask a black woman a simple question of, she's like, I want a good man. Hell, they said, them niggas ain't shit. They can't even explain that. When someone says have your shit together, what exactly does it mean? I've never really understood it. They say, well, you got to have a car, a job. That's a grown ass man. That ain't nothing impressive. That person should have these things. And we give credence and credit to things that normal people would have.
Just normal living.
Yeah.
Normal accumulation.
You're a grown man and you talking about, so you give a man kudos for taking care of his kids. Last I checked, the sentence says his kids.
Margo Hudson,
Yes.
would you like to say something in rebuttal?
Yes.
What do you have?
I have to say that although black women can be, I have to speak to what the brother said just now, although black women can be very vocal, a lot more vocal than maybe some other women, and actually I think that a lot of black men are under the impression, wrongly, that other women don't require these same things. They might not say it, they'll just leave you when you lose your job. They'll just do these different things that show you that they want to be with somebody that has their shit together. And I think that having your shit together on a wide scale, I think that people generally are going to weigh that with money. So I agree with you, Zoe, that people are looking at it financially. Me, on the other hand, I'm, of course, people who know me, they're listening already. They already know that how I feel about it. And the people who really have their shit together, they have a foundation, and it starts with your moral and your value structure. And it can be, whatever your requirements are, whatever, and whether they were fear-driven or not, they are there to help you perfect in this lifetime.
Or not?
Or not.
Okay,
Jeff Brown, please smack it down.
okay. I got two words that kind of shoot a little hole
Okay.
in, and I know what your vision of shit together. I'm not talking about that.
Well, he has to be able to pay his bills.
Okay.
Yes. That's the basis of.
Two words that kind of shoot a hole in that.
Okay.
Pauletta Washington.
Okay, what
She is the wife of famed actor Denzel Washington, who used to take him to auditions, acting class, and theater because he did not have a car. She got his teeth fixed, or he'd still have that big ass gap.
No, Jeff.
Now, how much of his feces collected did she see? And how many dudes have, quote unquote, their shit together, but with that shit comes a left hook to the body, the head, depending upon how they
The
feel.
emotions, the heart.
That's not having your shit together. And actually, it's about having. If you have goals, I think a person that has their shit together, whether you have a car or a job or $1 million in the bank, it's about what kind of the quality person you are, and do you have some sort of goals that you're working towards?
That's what you said.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's what he's saying. The problem is you don't say that first. Every time you check somebody and say you didn't say that, they say, "Oh yeah, that's a part of it."
No,
but that should have been the first
no,
thing you said.
no, that's part of
But you know what's okay.
Wait, if that all goes together, Margo, if that all goes together,
Absolutely.
there would be no Pauletta and Denzel, because from the surface definition of shit together, Denzel Washington did not have his shit
Well, you're
together.
talking about
And let's do-
superficial
wait,
things. You're talking
wait,
about superficial
wait.
things. When you
What
talk
else?
about money, when you talk about money, that's
Hey,
very superficial.
we're not talking
that
about
can come
you.
and go.
The
A
first
person
show,
is
we're
rich
out of
today.
control already. In the first show.
Okay.
Back. God damn it, you gonna follow my rules, woman. And all you other wayward hard legs in here, you gonna follow my rules too.
Wayward Hardlegs. That is the name of my next rock band. Ladies and gentlemen, the Wayward Hardlegs.
No, I think Jeff said something that I think we need to recontextualize that'll make it more palatable to the female listeners. And that is this. Women, you have to become sowers of seed. You have to sow into the man if you want to get what you want out of him.
Unless you want to be purchased.
A lot of times you'll hear sisters say things, not just sisters, but women in general, but sisters, this is a black conversation right now. We got a white engineer.
Okay.
And he laughing.
He getting a gang of gang.
heard any of this shit at my house.
Right.
No wonder
These Negroes are just, oh my God, just monkeys throwing shit. What kind of shit is this? You don't even
These
talk like that.
relationships, Jesus Christ, black relationships.
Isn't it funny we give the white person the same old voice?
The same.
No matter what white person you're
Oh
talking
no,
about.
there's you haven't met Travis Bickle yet.
No, but that's what I'm saying. We gotta, sisters. I hear sisters say, "You a grown ass man. I ain't your mama. I shouldn't have to. I don't need to be your psychiatrist, your therapist, your this, your that." In a way, women limit their real power. Like the real power of femininity lies in their intuitive process, their nurturing process, their healing process. What happens in a capitalist society, women take on the attributes of masculinity. In corporate America, it's dog eat dog. It's the bottom line. It's competitiveness. And what happened is, and women have to be that way, when they enter, because again, sisters are now living in a Renaissance period where you're more educated, right? Better educated, and you got more money. You make up more of the workforce than men do, especially in the African American community. So now you're in a renaissance period, and you have to now rewrite how you interface.
Shout out to my wife. Who
At
makes
the
more
end
money
of the
than me.
day, Denzel Washington has a real woman because she used her femininity to sow seeds in him and made him great. This is the old statement: behind every great man, there's a great woman. And I've always given this analogy of the battery, where you have the positive and negative side of the battery. The positive side of the battery is the masculine side. The negative side, or the neutral side, is the feminine side. Well, all of the power is coming from the negative or neutral feminine side of the battery. All men do is direct the power.
That's it.
It is I'm telling you, capitalist society makes having a goal purposeful. But when you get into the higher realms of consciousness, which all these rich white folk do after they've conquered the world and made billions of dollars, is go into Buddhism and Taoism and try to get away from the goal. That's the spiritual qualm of things. I want to get to this height where I'm not after the goal.
I'm no longer goal oriented.
Do you see what I'm saying? It's crazy, but that's what it is, and this is what black women are suffering from. We got callers. Caller number 1, you're on the line. Let's go.
Hello?
Holla at me. What's happening?
What's good? What's going on, man?
What's happening, man?
What's up? This is Eddie calling from New Jersey.
Eddie from New Jersey, New Jerusalem. What's up?
Absolutely. I'm calling in. You know, I saw the link on Tommy's page. You know, I seen what you're about, Zoe. I just want to say I appreciate the show, man. And it's like, I'm a year out of college, so, you know, the young people, the young folks, we listening to you and we're learning, so.
Man, I appreciate you, brother. Seriously, I do, man. And thank you for taking the time out to holler at us. We back in the building. We gonna build. We gonna, you know, Dr. Goulston will be back. We trying to create a whole new paradigm for relationships, because I believe that's what's wrong with the African American community across the board. Any political, social, economic ills can be healed if we heal our relationships. And I think that's where it starts, man. And once again, man, thank you for calling from New Jersey. We appreciate it. Who else we got on the line? Caller, holla at me.
Yeah, this is Keith. How are you all?
What up, Keith?
Keith.
Hey, what's going on? I definitely appreciate the show. I want to start off by saying that.
Thank you, brother.
I started listening to it recently, and I'm enjoying it. But to address the topic, I think in general, when that comment is made, you know, getting your shit together, I think that applies to the financial aspect of relationships. But the thing about it is, you can have the financial aspect taken care of in a relationship, but you can be morally and emotionally bankrupt.
Bang.
You follow what I'm saying? So,
that's true.
do you really have your shit together? You know, you can have all the finances in the world, but your relationships could suffer drastically.
But and this is, man, brother, you just hit on something that is the crux of the conversation.
Yeah, because people don't take that into consideration. They don't. You can have a problem with forgiveness. You can have a problem with holding on to things that happened to you 15 years ago. You know, it's just a lot of stuff. So people think, well, you know, if I got my financial situation right, if I own property, which is great, don't get me wrong, I'm all for financial wealth in the black community, but I have a problem forgiving people.
Then
I'm falling out with people.
Right, then your relationships are doomed to fail.
Right, exactly.
So in a way, you ain't got your shit together. Right there.
Yeah, so, you know, it's like sisters, not just sisters, but people in general have to be more specific about having your shit together. You know, it's just not about the money. You got to encompass, okay, can this person stimulate me mentally, spiritually, and all the other things that is needed for a relationship to be healthy and successful.
Well, brother, I love that. What you're saying is actually, if you look at it algebraically, to only require a person to have their financial shit together.
This is Azim.
Means
he created algebra.
Yes. Right. Means to only have you have to have your money together and have to have your finance together to have your shit together implies that I am not paying attention to the other shit of my own that needs addressing. So my shit is out there stanking because I ain't got it together with my soul, because I don't recognize that you got to have some of your soul shit together before you come over.
You know what? This is a great point. Hold on, brother.
Okay,
Just
go ahead.
1 second. This is the point that I try to make all the time. When we put money at the forefront of our relationships with regards to importance, if we prioritize money, then that is sending a subliminal message that we have a price. We can be purchased.
That's it.
And what happens with men of great affluence? First off, men of great affluence see women as baubles, as trinkets. I can go buy a $400,000 car and not miss it, and can afford the tune-up and pay, the gas and the oil. I'm good.
Ain't finna put your soccer mom ass
And they
in the
see
front of
you
the
and they go, I'm not going to be subject to your rule and dominance. Because what happens? How many times you see a man that's married? How does he look at his wife? 9 times out of 10, he looks at her as the boss. Let's just be
Or as
real.
his property.
No.
Yes, they do.
She's the boss.
She yeah,
we
but
talking about an average man. We're not talking about rich
Even an
men.
average man.
A rich man is like, you're my property.
Okay, wait a minute. It sounds
Even a man that doesn't have a lot of money looks at this woman.
okay. I ain't gonna tell
that's
you
not
what
true.
it is.
Well,
I ain't gonna.
Here's what's funny, y'all. You guys, and I've always noticed this during my radio show. When you have men talking about men in mixed company of races, when white men are talking about what men like, the white women listen because those are men and they like them.
You want me to ask the
men are
engineer to
saying,
leave?
this is what men, the women will say, no, that's not what it is. And you're listening to a man say, this is kind of how we view our women. If you watch that is confusing to me, and that's one of the reasons why our relationships don't work, because instead of asking us what we want, they generally tell us what we want.
Okay, I got it.
I'm speaking of. I'm a psychological person,
Okay.
and I go and I understand human behavior.
You are
There's certain
sexy.
things that people that they do without actually understanding their motivation behind it. So, a lot
Okay,
of men
Margo.
do really feel
Margo.
it. Yes.
I can't tell you what it is, but I can tell you what it looked like.
Okay. Right.
It
Exactly.
looks like to me
Yes.
that you are devaluing. What is the word I'm looking? You are devaluing and diminishing the I'm trying to get it. It's been a minute since we've been on the radio. You are devaluing every commercial I've seen, every sitcom I've watched, about the
the man
woman being the boss. Oh, you
I
man,
didn't say that she
you-
was
Married with
No,
children.
I was gonna-
You're
I
saying
didn't
no.
say- I didn't
Here is what
disagree
you
with you.
said.
I added to what
Here
you
is
were
what you
saying.
said.
Yes.
You said
Yes.
that men look at
A lot of women.
That's not what you
Not
said.
all men, but it's true. But
That's
I don't,
not what you
there's-
said
there's
either.
no all of anything in life.
Okay.
Actually.
Hey,
So
hey,
here's the
don't try to-
opportunity.
don't try to
bust-
backtrack.
It's
No,
not
bust the
backtrack.
Windex
Anybody
out.
that knows
Bust the
me knows
Windex
that-
out. I don't know. I don't know what you said.
Jeff,
I don't know what you meant. I know what you
If
said.
you ever talk to me, you know that there are no absolutes in my world.
No,
Wait a
well,
minute,
then
Jeff.
You can't speak
Jeff.
on them. Then you
Jeff
can't
and
speak on
Margo.
them.
No, well, I should have added a word in there, and I
Jeff
should have
and
said
Margo.
that
Yes.
a lot of men.
There you go.
Jeff and Margo,
Yes.
we can't talk at the same time.
Okay, but I would like
you know
to
what
talk,
you starting
because on this show it's
you
hard
know
for
what?
women to talk, so I would
You know
like
what?
to talk
You
somewhere.
starting to pull something out of Margo.
Okay.
You know, this sexy little, well, not little, this tall giant pixie
my
with
God.
all of this spiritual essence is starting to get a little
7-foot
too.
fairy.
But I'm still.
So
man,
let's
I'm still
do this.
spiritual.
Let's move out of her way
Yes.
and allow her to speak.
Thank you.
That's all I was doing, was trying to clear space.
60 uninterrupted seconds. Go.
Hey,
And it better be
thank
good,
you. It's
goddammit.
not just a man show.
Here we
Women
go.
can speak on here too.
Ooh,
Thank
here
you,
we
Zal.
go.
You're using your seconds up.
So basically, okay, so as far as the Denzel Washington and Pauletta thing, shut up. I'm not going to get into that because I know some specifics about that relationship. I'm not even going to tell their business. But it's very interesting in life but it is important, I think, for women to assist men and for men to assist women in many different ways. And now I don't think that it's a woman's responsibility to raise a man up once he's an adult. He should have some desires and some things that he wants to accomplish inside of him. A woman cannot place desires and what he wants and goals for his life
We
inside
didn't
of
say
him.
that.
I'm not. Listen. Listen
Just
now.
wanted to,
I'm
you know.
saying exactly what the guy was calling said from the beginning when I was saying that it's about the spiritual attributes. It's about things that are on the inside. It always starts from the beginning, from the inside. And a woman cannot help a man do anything unless he has something inside that he has a desire or he has
Agreed.
to have a fire. There has to be something there in order for something to develop. And everything on the outside develops first on the inside. So if somebody's looking for qualities and they want a person that has their shit together, it has to start from the inside. It has to. It can't start from money because money can leave tomorrow. Like the man said, if you don't have money, what else? If you have money, what about all the other attributes about the person? What about their spiritual foundation? What about their values? Some people have absolutely no moral or value structure or foundation in their lives, but they expect everything.
This is what we're going to do.
Yes.
We're going to take a break. And God damn it, when we come back, we are going to tear all of that haberdashery down.
Yeah.
How
Because
can you say that?
it's haberdashery.
Gotta
How can
gut
you
that
say
fish.
That's exactly what when the guy said it, you agree with it. But when I say it's about the spiritual attributes, you want to jump on my
You know
ass.
why?
Because,
I do want to jump on your ass.
That's where it starts.
All of
though.
it.
You can,
Anyway, I'm sorry. My bad. I had a moment. I lost myself.
Yes.
We'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. Zoe What Morning Show. Holla at me, 323-965-1600. We're going to come back with more guests and callers. I'll be back in 2.2. Ladies and gentlemen, back in the building. What does it mean to have your shit together? Are African American women opening the door to other races who technically have their shit more together than black men as it pertains to finance?
God bless you.
Is that why there's an explosion of interracial dating? Oh, sisters, we never will abandon our brothers. But the numbers are starting to grow. And you have even, I seen this one woman, she got a website and a campaign to lead sisters away from brothers because others have they shit more together than brothers.
Well, I wish them well.
I'm just saying, bon voyage. We've just added another element to the entire get down. It's a sister that I respect. She's an author.
Oh, yeah.
She's a therapist.
And she fine, too.
At one point in time, she was a target in my little scope. Like that one there. Yes. Mm-hmm.
The crosshairs.
Yeah, she was in the crosshairs.
Think Margo shorter with a gap in her teeth. Jesus Christ.
Yes,
Oh, my sweet Lord.
Really, I think we're related.
Oh, my Lord.
It's,
And I had a gap in my teeth.
You are in here. Oh, man.
It's two Leo women here, ladies and gentlemen, to combat the foolishness, the folly, the sheer audacity that these three men are explaining.
The tomfoolery.
Yes, the tomfoolery of it all.
Fuckery.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Thea Monyee. We really
I'm
love
really
her.
excited.
Yes, it's always great to
Feel
have
the
her.
Yeah.
The
Tell
angst, the acrimony.
you something. The feces was thrown at the old rotary
I
oscillator.
were put together prior to now.
Yes.
It would be too much.
Yes. I'm just saying, are other races more attractive to sisters because their shit is together? 323-965-1600. Thea, speak to me.
And that's financially, you're saying.
Yes. Isn't that all sisters really give a damn about? I'm just saying.
No, I mean, I really don't think that when I talk to friends who have decided to date outside of their race, which for a lot of my friends, that is a very big decision. Mm-hmm. And it comes after several failed attempts to...
Pink love.
Several failed attempts to stay within the race. That's not really... That may come up, but that's not really a driving force. I think what they find is more of an acceptance of our type of personality, of our approach, of our, attitude, as it's called by our brothers at times. I think there's more of an acceptance to just be real and be who you are.
Okay. Oh my
now,
God.
financially, I'm not going to say that that's not a factor for people. I can't say that. I don't know that. But I do know the conversations I've had, it's been primarily about being accepted, not being looked at as, misattitude or whatever that case may be. That's been my experience.
Tommy Sotomayor.
Yeah, all that you don't chew out, I'm just leave me some. Okay, leave me some.
First off, it's like when you said that they are more accepting. There's a book out there right now that said how to catch a white man. And
How to catch a white... What type of white safari is going on?
Yes.
But in this book, one of the tenets
How to catch a white
of
man
how to catch
stealing.
one, the black woman says, leave the black woman attitude at home. Black women do not carry that attitude when they dating a white man. You don't see black women running around with their necks.
All we asked you to do was stop doing that shit to
They actually
us.
change their demeanor when they get with him. So to say that they're accepting of it, white dudes really ain't accepting of that at all. That is why the number of interracial relationships on the male side has not gone as high as the black male.
Wait.
Black women are the least wanted of every race. You go look at the interracial
What?
dating. They're
That's
least
not
of
true.
every.
I got something to say.
Go ahead. They're least of every one of them. In marriage statistics, they're
I'm
least.
next.
They're dead last in every.
I'm next.
They're dead last in marriage.
Yeah,
I live in-
Hold
I
on,
live in
Margo.
New York City.
Margo.
next.
Hold on.
Okay.
This brother,
Yeah,
then you.
yeah,
I
yeah.
got this together, Margo. Just fall easy, breezy.
Yes.
Excuse me, y'all.
Jeff Brown.
Okay, when you did that,
Leave some for
when-
Margo.
When Tommy did that, there was this scenario that popped in my head. This is the way I write. I think, wait just a goddamn minute, Keisha. Okay, I know we're doing our thing, but you don't talk to my mom that way. Do you understand? I just saw that.
Totally inappropriate.
Yeah, let's discuss your approach. This concept that and this is what, and I can't tell you what it is, but I can tell you what it sounds like. It sounds like what you're getting at is what many black women misconstrue as being strong, which is when the shit hits the fan, my place is in your face, tit for tat, noise for noise, which is a cousin to, at least in my mind, what you are discussing is the black woman's approach. Because I don't have any problems with the black woman connecting with me spiritually. I don't have a problem, and these are parts of my wife's approach. I don't have a problem with her connecting with me intelligently, with her connecting with our blackness. I don't have a problem with that. The problem that I think you're discussing that we have is we have a disagreement, and your degree comes up, and we're not talking about deodorant or weather. Go ahead. These are the problems.
Hurry up, Jeff.
Again,
Shit.
not your friends. These just 8 dudes I know. And it ain't a bunch of dudes. It's like I said before. Okay, I'll say this, I'll be done. It's not all sisters.
Right.
There are just 3 of these bitches, but they're extremely busy. They're keying up all the cars.
Yes.
They're cussing out all the dudes at their mama funeral, all of them. If I were you, I can't tell you what to do, but I tell you what I'd do if I was you. As black women, if I was you, I would pot up and get some money to have these 3 bitches killed, because they're giving you a bad name.
That's right.
It's just
Now,
them 3.
now go to Margo, and then we're going to callers. We got full lines. Callers. I'm at Margo.
Okay, yes. Okay, I took some notes. Okay, well, first of all, I lived in New York City for a while, and I do know that California is a different place when it comes to men and how they approach women and everything. But I will say that even in New York City, I've had people from other races, whether they were Indian, people from the Middle East, and they said that they loved black women, and black women were in a lot of cases cleaner than a lot of the other women, as far as how they keep
That's because their grandmama
clean.
taught them how to soak them underwear in a jar out on the. No, go ahead.
So all I'm
You got to
saying,
clean them date panties different, baby.
you guys, y'all are crazy. But listen, a lot of women. Okay, y'all gonna listen or y'all?
I'm listening. A lot of women. That's all I heard you. A lot of
Okay,
women.
so yeah, and all black women are not loud and obnoxious and argumentative.
Just 3.
And just those 3.
Just 3.
Just those 3. Because there are different types of black women out here.
Absolutely.
Now, black women are getting a bad name, but trust me, other men from other races, sometimes they come at us, and they come at us differently. It's a lot softer and sweeter. They put us on a pedestal and they treat us real good.
No
sometimes.
sweeter than I treat my
And
wife.
I haven't had. I'm just telling you that a lot of times black men don't embrace us sometimes the way that they could. And I'm not saying I'm trying to go to another race. I love black men, but I honestly can say that I haven't actually been in a relationship with somebody from another race, so I can't say if they followed through with it or not. But I know some black women who are in relationships with other races, and those men tend to lift those women up in a way that sometimes black men, they don't have maybe the know-how, or there's something missing to where they might not be able to in some way. Some sort of being a supportive, loving mate. And some men actually do know how to do this, because actually I know somebody that is very loving and supportive, and I know a few men. My father is that way, as a matter of fact.
Okay,
And Jeff, I believe that Jeff is a man that takes care of his business at home.
Okay, so let me do this, Jeff. Settle down. I miss Jeff and all the antsiness.
Okay.
I miss it.
Okay.
God damn it.
I'm about to explode.
I know.
I'm about to explode.
It's fine.
I can't
just make
believe
sure you
brother-
don't, yeah.
I can't believe Brother Sotomayor is not giving me that you know how he get on his show.
Yeah, I already know. But wait. We have
know.
so many callers.
I need to
Let
be tagged.
let some callers come through and get their opinion. Caller, you're on the line. Talk to us.
Caller, take care of your baby.
The baby answered the phone. Hi. How are you?
Hi.
What's
How are
happening?
you guys?
Talk to us.
I just want to say, first of all, I love your show. I especially love Tommy. And I really appreciate what you guys are trying to, do, uplift the black community and black women specifically. I kind of feel, and that's just my opinion, in what you were talking about, I think black women specifically, why they would want to date like a white man, I don't think it's necessarily financially. I think it's more they think, maybe it will place them potentially in a better light to others. And I think they don't value their self, because if you value yourself, despite what everyone else is saying about black women, if you know that you are not that type of a black woman, it's not going to matter. You would want to be with a black man and continue, to have black children and have the family.
Caller,
You know?
can I ask you a question, if it's okay?
Yes.
What is your ethnicity?
I am black.
Oh, okay. Just had a little Becky in your voice. That's fine. But no, let me.
Jamaican,
You're
but,
Jamaican. Okay.
I grew up in America.
Got it. And one other question. Where are you calling from and your name again?
I'm calling from Massachusetts. My name's Renee.
Renee, thank you for the call. I really appreciate it. Let me do this really quickly. I didn't get my point in on this. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. And we're going to go to another caller, and then I'm going to go to Thea Monyee. But let me say this really quickly. Does it stand to reason that because of all of the shit that black folk done been through with regards to racism in America, that even, like, for instance, listen to this metaphor. It might be a little fucked up, but my therapist can help me. This is why I'm going to her. Mm-hmm. Do black women, you know how when somebody is kidnapped or abused or raped, like, say, because I've spoken to some women who've gone through this, and if they're raped and then they have an orgasm in the process of the rape, it's almost like they feel bad for feeling good because something bad happened to them, but the bad thing that happened to them wound up feeling good. Do you understand? You understand what I'm talking about, yeah. Thea, right? The conflict in that thought process. I think if you use that metaphor as it applies to white men in America and women, sisters dating them, to say, okay, this is a better option. A man who has abused us, right? Like for real. Like it's not the same abuse as 150 years ago in slavery, but there's still an abuse if you fucking fill out a resume and you give your real name and they go, no Tashikas is working here. It's still a type of abuse, right?
That's right.
But when you scandalize yourself,
I like the word.
you see, like, the scandal's a big thing. You have to understand, during slavery...
Oh, scandalized.
That's what I said. You just caught it.
I'm just saying, during slavery, they'll beat the shit out of a man and fuck the shit out of the woman, to the point where the woman was okay at some point because it was a better life than getting beat almost to death or unto death. So then, I'm not saying in all situations, because what we can't do is do the rudimentary argument of not everybody. We already know some banal is in place, some but not all. Okay, but the point that I'm making is, does it stand to reason that maybe sisters in America have that kind of mentality when they look at the white man? Because in a lot of ways, although he was abusive, he's still in a position of power that can save me from the squalor I'm living in with my black man.
Stockholm.
Somebody call me, 323-965-1600. Answer that question for me, Thea, and then I'm going back to the callers.
Okay. I want to make 2 quick points tying to what you said.
Yeah.
I think what has to be said is this is not unique to black women. This is also a factor with black men.
Yes.
Black men were also abused. Black men also saw white women held in high esteem. Black men wanted to be validated by sleeping with and getting the white woman in some way, and still
the NFL
still deal with that today. I mean, we've seen so many countless black men accused of rape by white women over and over again. We've had all these situations, so it's not unique to black women, and it's not simply us seeking validation. It is also, and honestly, that was happening. It was a slower process for black women to move towards other races than I think it was for black men.
Agreed.
Because black men held, white women were held, and these other women, like your friend just said, he said,
this my friend now?
Which I don't necessarily agree with, but he said, if black women are the least wanted groups of women in,
I don't believe that.
I don't believe that
I don't either.
But that's what he said. So if that's true, then that explains the black male exodus towards other races as well. However, another point that I think is being missed, just because we're doing the black-white thing, is that a change in culture is a change in dynamic. So it doesn't necessarily mean that if a white person dates an Indian person, there's going to be a change in dynamics. There's a change in culture. So some of that you're talking about that Tommy referenced in terms of, they respond differently to this person, or, black men may respond differently to a white woman. But that's also a change in culture. That culture approaches you different. That culture interacts different, has different views.
That's a great point.
So change in culture is a change in dynamics. I don't think that's
Can I ask you this?
Fair point.
Let me ask you this. Tommy said sisters change their behavior.
Right.
And you said that's a change in culture.
I think so. Because I think it happens male to female
That's
as
a
well.
reason.
So
That's a reason that
let
he's
me
right.
ask the question: what is it about the white man's culture will make the sister take her attitude out of the equation when interfacing with him?
It's in the book.
I know what it
Our
is.
respects.
Listen.
She may not.
I believe look,
That's an
this
assumption.
is what happens with most people. Anytime a person is embraced, and loved for who they really are, they become more loving and they embrace themselves. So anytime somebody is open to you, we're going to go towards who treats us the nicest. So if somebody's treating you very good, it's going to
Who
change
treats
your
us the nicest?
Ghetto daggers.
Listen. If you have a person that's treating you very sweetly and gently, and they're dealing with you, they're being respectful towards you, they care about how you feel, then it's going to cause you to rise up in a different way.
Let's ask the white man. We have a white man in here.
Let's come down when somebody.
I can't tell you, dude. I date sisters. I don't know.
Please.
White Jesus.
If you treat a woman good, you'll see something different happen from her.
So you're saying, can I ask this question? There's 900-pound gorilla in the room. Let me answer this
Some people are
question.
just afflicted
Let
to
me
the
ask
root.
this question to the sisters. Let me ask this question.
Yes.
Can we say right here and now that you guys are telling us that the white man,
In general.
in general, not all, but in general,
Or other races. Okay.
have treated sisters better than brothers?
Some. Yes.
Well, we already know the argument of some.
Yes. Yes, a certain amount of them. Yes.
I
So we
think
can't
I'm
use
saying-
that as an excuse.
No, I think what I'm saying specifically, because what tends to happen is a generalization. So, no, what I was saying to Tommy's point is that Tommy's point didn't go deep enough. What's deeper than that is a change in culture is a change in dynamic. That's male or female. So that doesn't just apply if sisters date a white man. That applies if brothers date a white woman. That's a change in culture and change in dynamic. I don't think what Margo's saying is that, yes, all these races treat, but we're saying that the black female experience has been, if we've both experienced this abuse, then we tend to turn that abuse towards each other.
Right.
And there tends to be a tendency not to feel that same energy when it's turned outward.
Right.
But that's because we've both suffered abuse. I think having the conversation from
This is
just the
great.
sister's perspective, again, underlies the fact that we're not understood, right? So it makes you feel, as sisters, we're sitting in a room, that not understood, right? That
Or embraced.
and to look outside for more understanding and acceptance.
Jeff Brown. Go.
Hold that. Okay. Let's discuss. I'm going to make this personal.
It's already personal,
Okay.
Jeff. Shit.
When I was 9, I saw my uncle hit his girlfriend so hard that his watch broke. When he walked away, she started picking up the pieces to get it fixed. I saw another of my uncles jump up and beat a woman unconscious like you would a man. I've seen women on the pavement, unconscious, getting their heads bashed into the pavement, and they were already out. None of this gives me any license to put my hands on any woman ever, because it is about personal accountability. It is not about the abuse I saw or was subjected to. These are choices that I make. Now, I'm not talking about the enlightened women who are sitting in front of me with beautiful natural hair. No, I'm talking about the perm weave crew. Now, you may not know them, and you seem to not as you speak. You also are
the Hair Hat Battalion.
The Hair Hat Battalion. You also are guilty of this. Why is it that black queens like yourselves circle the wagons around the horribles? Okay, at this table, I happen to know that this is a responsible father. I am a responsible father.
But I'm still
I
not
know
shit
it's
in certain areas.
Yeah, I'm not shit in certain areas.
I'm not shitting in certain areas.
I'm not shit in certain areas. If you forget your snack at school, well, it's tough shit till you get to the house. But I know dudes that ain't shit. And I admit that there are dudes that ain't shit. Why is it when I speak to and I know some queens, when I speak to y'all, Y'all act like, ain't no bitches, ain't no horribles, ain't no women who have...
Ain't no bitches, ain't no
bitches,
horribles.
Bitches on there, ain't no hoes, don't no hoes exist. They exist. These women exist. Now, with regard to sisters dating interracially, I believe I speak for most brothers that I know, because there is no great American black woman shortage, farewell. We're not upset about it. We don't act like y'all. We don't get stank. Now, some do, and I'm sure you're going to dig and find those some, but generally...
And nigga live right down the street.
Oh, my God. Of course. You will find the exception to prove the rule. But as a rule... brothers are not. When I see a sister with a white dude, I'm like, oh, hey, that's what they doing. I'm not concerned. I only date sisters. My wife is black. However, to sit here and pretend like there isn't a sister that put some brother or groups of brothers through hell, and that some of those brothers put her back through hell, and she said, you know what,
okay,
fuck this, I'm gonna date a white dude. You go, wow, really? None of them exist?
But you know what?
We never said never.
But neither one of them said never.
But you didn't address it. But you don't address it.
What we had to address first was the generalizations that you're making from that side.
Right.
If you make a blanket statement about sisters, I'm coming back at you.
I did.
With the blanket statement to contradict that one. So my point is, neither of us, and Zoe's right here, neither of us said one time that there is not one woman that's catastrophizing. That is making something that did not happen.
You know what?
Please,
this is a great point. She makes a great point.
Okay, well now you said first you did not address them. Well, here's your chance.
Well, clearly, male or female. If there's somebody that's operating...
No, not male or female. We're talking about ladies right now.
We always are talking about ladies.
We're not talking about fire trucks.
Margo and I are here.
Let her finish. Let her
We're talking
finish.
about fire trucks.
Jeff.
We're always talking about ladies. That's part of the reason Margo and I are here, because we have to balance out the conversation and make it about a dynamic, about yin and yang, about male and female. Mm-hmm. So... whether any time a person is abused and making a decision to be in a relationship based on unhealthy reasons, clearly we're going to say, if there's a woman out there, in fact, when I hear a black woman say, brothers ain't this or brothers ain't that, I'm quick to correct it.
Me too.
I'm quick to say, here's a good brother I know right here. Y'all should go out and hang out. But are you ready for him? I mean, that's what we can do.
Are you the exception or the rule?
Okay, hold on, Jeff.
You make everything on this side table an exception.
Okay, so
but
listen.
on your side table,
I don't know how many sisters you date.
Yes.
Okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do, goddammit, because Jeff, this is his first week back.
It must be.
And he's just, look at him. He's
you
bent
got
over. He's about to hyperventilate.
Rule exception. That's how
right.
it rolls.
Okay,
right.
so listen, let me pose this, and then we're going to go to some questions and some callers. Let me pose this. You know what I think? And I've said this on Tommy's show before. This is what I think. I think the normal shit that comes with being a human being, right? First off, conflict comes with being human. I think with black people, because we've been through so much that, like I said, the only way to show that we have any level of power is to inflict it back on each other, right? Listen, you just gave an example, Jeff, of your uncle beating up and hitting. First off, violence is inherent in all relationships, irrespective of race.
Absolutely.
From youth all the way to the elderly, violence is a part of being a fucking human being. But when you look at African American relationship dynamics, it becomes the excuse to leave one another. Mm. Do you understand? Like I said, African Americans are so hurt and destroyed because of our history here in America that there's no space to be human. Mm-hmm. To err is human. So now it becomes, well, because I was raised by a mother who got her ass beat by several dudes, and her methodology for dealing with it, instead of understanding that she was the lightning rod that created the environment to create violence in her relationships, instead of any personal accountability, it becomes, fuck this type of dude. Instead of understanding this type of dude is your personal curriculum. This is how you get better. Oh no, that's violence. Yeah, violence is human. Now we have to understand, why does violence happen? How do we mitigate it? What beliefs do I have that create the environment that makes it ripe for that type of shit to happen? What am I magnetizing? Right? So now we have a philosophy of unforgiveness that becomes a generational curse that gets passed down. Does that make any sense? I mean, do you see what I'm saying?
Ask a question in there real quick.
Okay, you all want to have questions.
I just got one question.
You go ahead, Jeff.
Is the yardstick for how you pick a black man versus how you pick a man of another race the same stick?
Oof.
For me, yes.
For me, yes.
Okay, well then how did you wind up with all these shitty niggas? Not you. But I'm saying, if the yardstick is the same, here's what should happen. Shitty nigga, shitty nigga, shitty nigga, shitty white dude, shitty white dude, shitty white dude, shitty Puerto Rican, shitty Puerto Rican. That's how it should happen.
Shitty Asian.
And
it shouldn't go.
Shitty Hindu.
Right, shitty Hindu. What's going on, girlie? I'm going to need your car to ride around with other girls. It should not be that all of a sudden you start dating this white dude and now you got a white picket fence and a white Mercedes and your life is great and your kids have green eyes with curly hair and everything's fantastic. It should not be that. You should have shitty dude, shitty dude, shitty dude, jump the racial fence, shitty dude, unless you are changing your yardstick.
Indeed. Tommy Sotomayor.
Say something.
You have a video where there's a woman, a sister, who specifically says, I'm going to date a white man and have a child with a white man because it gives my kid a better shot in life, a better opportunity. Please go deeper into that video. And what did you say to combat such foolery?
She was stating that she dated the white man because she wanted to make a super black, which is basically what happens when you get a mixed black, because the mixed black is always typically treated better than the regular black. This goes back to slavery. So she wanted
to give birth to a house nigga?
Yeah, basically is what she's saying, because I told her, I said, one of the worst, if you want to look at a man, you have to judge a man by this. Men judge their children and they like to claim their children. They like to say, this is my son, this is my whatever. But for some reason, a white man will have a child with a black woman and say, my son is black, my daughter is black. So he's openly not claiming what he produced. And will throw it on black folks. So black folks got to claim everything. So my daughter's got to compete with Alicia Keys, Mariah Carey for the most beautiful black woman in the world. But white little girls don't have to compete with anybody that don't look like them. Asian girls don't have to compete with anybody that don't look like them. Because Heinz Ward can't go back over to Japan and say I'm Japanese. But he showed up hanging around black folks and say he black. Now this woman spent her whole time saying because she got treated bad as a black person, she wanted to create a mixed person so that one wouldn't have to go through the crap that she went through. So I responded to her and said, you know what you're doing? You're creating the same pain that you went through. She said, how so? I said, because you're going to put that child hanging around my child so my child can feel the same way you felt. And black women go out of their way. Because you know what I rarely hear black men say?
What?
I'm going to go and get this chick, because I look at Lil Wayne, and he now dating outside of his race, but he's still acting like Lil Wayne. He ain't doing like Gabrielle Bouvet or whatever her name, when she was riding around talking about how she, when she was riding around talking about how great it was to have a white dude, and then she starts stalking him because he left her for a white chick. See, we get a lot of that going on with them. They switch up to be with them, and then when it don't work, then they get to come back with us scot-free.
Or when he returns it like, this isn't the exotic woman I thought I was getting.
And I'm going back to where I came from.
If you like what he said, he is Tommy Sotomayor. If you don't, he's Anthony Hamilton. You gotta start using that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have callers. I need to get to these callers. They've been online for a while. Let's roll through a lot of them right now. Caller, you're on the line. Tell us what you think about today's conversation.
Well, it's very interesting. I do think that people evaluate relationships really in completely wrong sorts of ways. One of the things that I see people do, you guys are talking about, liking someone and evaluating what's on the inside. But that's not something that any human being can do. We can only evaluate what we can see. We have no ability whatsoever to jump inside of someone else's head.
So empathy is an illusion.
No, it's not. It's not an illusion. But what I'm saying is we're using external indicators to give us an idea of what we believe to be going on inside.
Right.
And we base our decisions based on that.
Right.
And that's the reason why I think that using money as one of the barometers you use to evaluate another person is completely fine. It is an external indicator that person is giving off.
Wow.
So
that's a good point.
The fact that they're making money is one of the indicators of what it is they're doing. Now, it's not the only indicator because people get money in different ways. I think that one of the great corruptions among black people is that we basically, all the people who we see who have money are essentially providers of luxury goods. They're entertainers.
Wow.
Which is not like ours.
Man, great point. We got so many callers, brother. I'm going to give you 10 more seconds. Please wrap that thought up because we got to move.
So, yeah, start looking at the engineers, start looking at the people who start their own businesses selling retail, and then you'll start seeing those characteristics which make a good name.
Yeah, the dudes you wouldn't screw in college.
That's a good point.
Yeah, y'all was screwing Q's, trying to figure out why you waking up and the whole room smell funny. Well, it's full of you and 6 dudes. That's why.
Oh, damn. Hey, that was a great call. Next caller, you're on the line. Name and city. Talk to me.
Hey, what's up? It's the Music Man 82. Right now in the suburbs of Detroit, but from Indianapolis, Indiana.
What up, fam? How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. I'm so glad the show is back on. Shout out to your panel. You know what I think about the discussion between white men and black women? I believe white men created capitalism in a capitalist society to destroy black men. No. Because if you live in a capitalistic society, and you have the power, you can sway another race's women to come with you and to like you better than their own race. And that's how I see it.
Well, slavery already had that in place. If I'm gonna whoop your man's ass with a whip, and then and then you gonna warm my bed. Right. It's a different kind of oppression, fucking, than it is getting fucked up.
Right. That's why I think it's funny when people talk about black women deciding to openly date white men. I'm like, they've always had access to y'all. If it was that great, they've always had access to y'all.
Wow.
That wasn't something that's new. They had it since.
Y'all wasn't getting hung in the 50s.
Yeah, they already had access to y'all. So if it was so great, they would have went on and just stayed there.
Wow. Music Man, man, I really appreciate you calling, dude. We got so many callers, man. Thanks for reaching out. I'm glad to hear your voice, man.
No problem.
And tune in to us next week. We'll be back. Thanks again. Next caller, you're on the line. Holla at me.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. You?
I'm Latino, and I dated a black woman all my life until about 7 years ago. And I thought I was totally wrong about black women in general.
Excuse me, caller. Excuse me, caller.
Yeah.
You said that you dated black women exclusively, and at that point there was some gastrointestinal disturbance over on this side of the room.
Was it?
And then, because I heard, and then you kept going, and then I heard somebody choke on their spit, and I'm just trying to make sure that. Are you guys okay over there?
Oh.
All right, go ahead, caller. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupted you. Go ahead.
All right. So anyway, I dated a black woman, and I thought I was totally wrong. Why I stopped dating them?
Well, why'd you stop? Tell us.
Well, because when I even approached my other friends, they said, "Man, you became racist or something wrong with you." I said, "No, dude, I'm not racist. It's just that for some reason I found black women complaining all the time, demanding all the time, whining all the time, And I found out that I was not wrong. I was right. I needed somebody to actually affirm it until I started listening to Tommy. And that's the reason why I stopped even dating them. Because every single time I go and date them, they only care about two things: how much money you have, and what you can give me.
Wow,
that's one of the three.
They never even care about feelings, about companionship, and all that. And, women in general have the tendency to build their ideal man like in a factory. And they always, and most of the time, they end up with the worst of all.
Wow.
They end up with the jerks, the most... Hello?
Yeah,
excuse me,
we listening
no,
to
go
you.
ahead,
Yeah,
caller,
go
finish
ahead.
it. Go on and
Finish.
say what you got to say.
They end up with the most terrible jerking in the world and the more loser men in the world.
Okay, caller.
Thank you, man.
Caller,
Wow.
a question. How many black women did you date? Was it more than 3?
I have dated over 10 women.
Over 10. So there are more than 3 crazy ones that are doing it. I thought it was just 3.
I'm half Latina.
No.
My dad's from Panama.
I even was about to marry
I
one.
got follow-up questions for the Latinos.
Well,
Okay,
you
she
know
got
what?
some
You know what?
questions.
We got a sister in here that's half Panamanian.
And all fine.
Yes,
Good Lord.
yes, she's full fine, and she wants to ask you some questions regarding your experience with black sisters.
So, seeing how there's this huge distinction between queens and the horrible,
There is.
were you at a horrible factory finding these women? Because you didn't seem to come across any queens, apparently. And I do know that, like I said, my dad is
harder
half
to find.
Latino. My dad's half Latino. So I know, like, my Panamanian side of the family operates very different. That culture operates very different. That's part of the difficulty that my mom and dad have. My mom is African American. So, I mean, there's other cultural factors there that also could be at place. But, I mean, because this is the reason I asked you this, caller, is because, the guys tend to say, like, well, where are you finding these men and these men that beat you and treat you wrong? So I'm asking you the follow-up question. Where did you find these horrible women that were treating you so bad and complaining and wanted to get your money? Because a lot of the African-American women I know make their own money. We don't have a choice. We're accustomed to being
But Thea,
abandoned.
you can't use your experience.
I'm just saying
we're
we're
talking
accustomed to being
about in
abandoned.
general.
That is because, can I say something?
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
That is because, with all due respect, you're an educated person. You're an educated woman.
Mm-hmm.
You have a better standard economically. Okay? When I was younger, I was a no one. I was dating people from the ghetto.
Okay.
And these women had no education
He said
at
women
all.
from the ghetto.
He's saying
When I became a professional and my social life became higher standard, then I started dating women with higher education.
Mm-hmm.
And they all had a different approach, and I have a different experience.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, they all have one problem in common.
So my question,
try to
caller,
be white.
Wow.
My question, caller, then is
They try to be white. And why did I say that? Because if there's something that is totally right, and Tommy Sotomayor is right 100%. Black women nowadays, the reason why I dated black women was because I consider black women the most original woman on earth.
Come on,
They changed it.
Wow.
They changed it so much. They start wearing wigs. They start wearing a lot of stuff that only white people do. And what happened is that my experience was so terrible. And if I tell you why I stopped dating black women, you probably laugh your ass off.
Wow.
That's a lot of ass, bro. That's a lot of laughing.
That's the reason why. Because black women stop being what they really are, black.
Oh,
That's the reason
damn.
why you fell in love with black women.
Okay,
because of the
so
beautiful hair.
caller, do this. Hold on, because we want to be able to interface with you. So just listen for a second. Tommy has a question, and so does Margo, and so does Thea. So just hold on. We're gonna come right back to you. Don't hang up, Tommy.
All right.
I talk about that on my show all the time, about the idea that I find black women the most beautiful women on the planet. Problem is, I ain't seen a black woman, a lot of them, since like 85. You got a lot of them running around with these weaves, and the darker they are, the more they have blue and gray and stupid contacts in their eyes and them dumb long eyelashes, and then just something as simple as you can't even get a black woman to say they black. Like I listen to, and it's no offense, but I was born.
I'm
in
Belizean.
Panama. And when I hear somebody tell me, I'm half Panamanian, then they say, well, my dad was half Panamanian, and you ain't been to Panama. You weren't born in Panama? Because what makes you a Panamanian is to be born in Panama.
no, what
It's
makes you
the
Panamanian is
nationality.
That's the
nationality.
nationality.
It's by your
Yeah,
father's
and you
race.
have to be
Right.
born in there to have that nationality.
But most people
not a
claim
race,
their
it's a
nationality.
nationality.
Most
That's
people
right,
claim their nationality
Yeah,
and
but
not their
Negroes
race.
don't- well, so why don't
I'm
we-
talking about in terms of blacks.
And
Right.
all
I'm
of them are
Jamaican.
too. Otherwise,
Right,
I'm
but
saying
No,
like, people be
you're
like,
an
I'm
African.
Irish.
But that's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Right.
We when we do stuff like that, we're trying to make sure we're not a part of being, like you said, African. They never reach back to where they from. They always reach to something exotic. They always say, I'm part something else. I've heard black women say, I'm black and French.
How many times you
so
hear
you're
the
a race
Indian?
in a country, and they got together and had sex.
Right.
Well,
It just doesn't make sense.
I'm Creole.
I say you're whatever color the Klan says you are.
Say, be honest Beyonce got on TV, when she was doing the commercial,
Okay.
when Beyonce was on her commercial, when she was talking about the makeup, what did she say? I'm part black, French, and Creole. No black woman is black. Go right there and pull up every top black model. And the darker they are, the more crap they mix with. And you're supposed to say that person is, go look at any of the black ones. They'll say they mix with something else. They won't just say, hey, you know what, I'm black.
So you're saying
other
if self-hate is a part of the selection process, then there's like a disingenuine like kind of motive to be with a white man or anybody of any other race anyway.
Hated the Cheerios commercial. The Cheerios commercial was 30 seconds and they hated it. But the Scandal is a
seasons.
Think about it. If there had been
seasons
if that show had been a
presidential
black
dick
cheating with a white woman, it wouldn't have lasted a year because they would have boycotted.
And you know what?
They would have been upset.
Scandal is a fantastic show without the side chick edge. Without the side chick.
But what is the main thing they say about black men that they don't like? We cheat all the time. But their favorite show is a white man doing what?
Cheating. Go in, Margo. It's Margo's turn.
Okay.
Go ahead, Margo.
Well, first I have to say that I have to agree with you, Mr. Sotomayor, what you were saying about
Sotomayor.
What's his name? How do you say his name?
Sotomayor. Sotomayor is not sodomizer.
Okay,
Jesus.
He's not a sodomizer. Okay.
This nigga's from Sodom and Gomorrah.
Listen. My background comes from the modeling industry. I've traveled all around. I've been approached by men from all over different countries and stuff. And the interesting thing, and people come up to me, white people from other places, and they'll say, where are you from? Where's your family from?
Cleveland.
Where are you from? And I say they're from Michigan.
She's
and they say,
more
no,
likely
where are
to
you
say
really,
she's
really
black
from?
than somebody my color, and that's sad.
They want to know. No, they want to know. And I say my parents are from where are your parents from? Because they assume because they say you're so beautiful. Like it's an insult. They're saying you're so beautiful, so you have to be mixed.
Niggas are ugly. How did you get cute?
Oh my God.
Say, where's your family? You don't have any family in Europe? And I'm looking at them like, really?
Let me say something.
Really?
You know, this most likely
Hold on.
gonna wear their hair natural. The darker the skin the girl is, the more they have weave.
Let me say something.
Hold on. Thea.
Again.
Hold on. Everybody, hold on.
I feel like I always have to clarify, because I use words a certain way. Culture, race, and ethnicity measure different things. When I asked the question, when I was talking to this gentleman caller who's identified himself as Latino, I was talking culturally. I was raised around two cultures. I was raised around African American culture from Maryland, and I was raised around Panamanian culture from family members that actually migrated here from Panama. Those are two different cultures. If you ask me my ethnicity, my race, I'm African American. I'm black. But that's a different thing. I was asking him about the culture. A culture is your language, your food, your religion, your
social
soul,
game rules. Yes.
Race is a social construct. So let's be clear, and I want to clarify that for Tommy because.
But Panamanians.
Let me be clear.
Let her finish.
They are, which is why I make the distinction. Also, if I'm talking to Latino brothers and sisters, if you're from Honduras or you're from Belize or you're from somewhere different, the cultures are different. So what I was asking him about was, I also come from a Latino background, just like there's certain things that are general about cultures. There are certain things that get more specific. So I really want to clarify that. And also, I'm just trying to be clear. I just want to kind of summarize what I've heard overall.
Yes.
The summary that I heard is that black men, when they go outside their race, they do not change. But when black women go outside of their race, they change. And that's the big problem that we have with it. However, I do think we need to consider that it's also been raised that black men don't have to change when they go outside their race, because part of the reason they leave is because there's a black woman who is maybe in her eyes holding them accountable or calling them on something.
Stay with me.
Whatever. You see what I'm saying?
Stay with me. You just said something very powerful, and I'm going to throw it right directly to you.
Okay.
The question that I have for you is, when black men go outside of their race, with any race, Asian, whatever, white, whatever, are those women generally more accepting of who the black man is as is than any other woman, than his own woman? And when black women go outside of her race, are those men more accepting of her as she is, period, as is? Or does she have to change?
I think
that's a good point.
I think that's what we're talking about. And here's what I think. I with you, Zoe. At the end of the day, I don't get caught up on any of those things. I get caught up on humanity. I speak to what's human, what's emotional, what's a common experience. I do think all these things sort of get in the way of getting to that.
Right.
But that is what I think. So I think that there's there's a preconceived notion. It's the grass is always greener, or this may be better. I know a lot of men who went outside their race who are black and found that white women, Asian women are equally as demanding, maybe in a different way, maybe in a more passive way. But I just feel like like you said, getting to the human part of it is the idea that this will be better or this will be different. It's kind of what appeals. I don't think it always balances out. I'm not comfortable saying it's just generally, white women are going to take more of the black man's stuff, or white men are going. I'm not comfortable with that. I think that's what people may believe, and that's why they start that journey out that way. But I think at the end of the day, it still comes down to what kind of human being are you attracting into your life,
This is excellent.
and what kind of stuff you're bringing with you into these relationships.
So full circle, go deeper into what kind of being you're attracting into your life,
right.
and this
Because
full,
I
the
agree
full
with
circle
Jeff.
point is having your shit together.
I agree with Jeff. In fact, that's where I thought we were going with this topic today. I didn't think it was just going to be, about finances. I was really thinking, like, emotionally, are you even ready what you're asking for?
That's
Women
right.
who say they want a husband and your life is not set up for a husband. Husbands who say they want a wife and your life is not set up for a wife. And I agree with what Jeff said
But
earlier.
whoa. I want you to go deeper into
Okay.
your life is not set up.
Right.
Because a lot of times it's not about education and where you work.
No.
Life being set up is emotional set up.
Yes. Are you
Psychological
prepared to
set
compromise?
up.
Are you prepared to share? Is your space set up for
Yes.
that person to even be there?
Yes.
Can I whoop your kids?
Yeah, all those, like,
Can
am
I
I
whoop
prepared
your
to
kids?
like that is there's a book called Calling in the One, and there's a chapter, and I can't remember which section it is, but there was a whole section on you say you're ready for the one, but look at your house. You got one lamp, 2 rolls of toilet paper, 1 bar of soap, 1 washcloth, 1 towel. Your bed is set up so you can only get to it on one side.
Right.
Even if your husband walked in today,
Yeah.
he wouldn't have nowhere to stay. Like there would be nothing there for him. And so it's about like setting up your life, your space, your emotions for another person to be in
Women
that
don't care
space.
that.
Really quickly. Hold on, caller. Really quickly. How does one set themselves up emotionally to be prepared?
You know what we're going to say. You deal with your stuff. You're aware of what you're attracting, what you're bringing into your life, why. And some of that you may
So you're
not
saying
even-
self-observation,
and
objective
reflection.
self-observation.
and reflection, and you're honest with yourself. You're real. Like, I can say, Thea's going to need this. And I know why I need this. I know where it came from. I know it came from my family or my root or whatever, my experience. But this is something that I do need. And I can communicate that to a partner so that he can say, okay, I can do that. I can meet that need for you.
And let's go even deeper. When we try to get those needs dealt with and accommodated, are these needs, this is what I mean by that, because you remember the conversation we had with Dr. Goulston, and we talked about how when people get hurt, what tends to happen, say, oh, my dad, left, or my dad abused me, or whatever. What tends to happen is once the trauma happens, once the hurt happens, the coping mechanism goes into play. And what happens now is needs are now formulated in the coping mechanism. So now you're asking your partner to date a coping mechanism, which isn't really you.
Right. And what gets rid of the coping mechanism?
That's where we want to go.
Observation and reflection on the fact that, do I even need this anymore? It's like if you don't run track anymore, get rid of your track shoes. You don't need them to take up space in your house, right? So it's like that. Emotionally, do I still need this? Am I still in a dangerous place? Am I still unsafe? If I don't, I need to get rid of it. It becomes a hindrance.
Right. So I'm going to go even farther. I'm going to go even farther into it. If that's the case, is it not a rarity? Is it not almost an overwhelming anxiety and fear for most people to actually look at their stuff?
It's one of the hardest things you'll ever do.
So if that's the case, then we were right all along. The majority of niggas and bitches, let's just be real, are looking at fucking wallets and keychains and all of the superficial menagerie.
Cars and clothes.
And now you know why. Now, that's what I like, Zoe. I love what you just did. And now we know why. We're not just going to blame that. We're going to say, this is why it's easier for that. I have clients, I have 7-year-old clients, right? When it's time to talk about the hard stuff, when it's time to talk about home or mommy or daddy or what's happening at home, I'll say, how are you feeling? Do you know what they'll say? They'll say, "Oh, I watched a cartoon this morning," because that is a diversion.
Right.
They're 7 years old and they're already learning to deflect the hard stuff.
That's right.
How are you feeling when mommy and daddy fight? I like candy. That has nothing to do with it, but they go there because it's so much easier than to deal with the hard stuff. So as we attack the superficial part, we have to also understand these are people who are having a lot of difficulty getting to that root that you're talking about.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful. We got more callers. Tommy Sotomayor, before I go to my next caller, how do you feel about what was said just now as far as identifying and looking at oneself? Do you feel that brothers and sisters, not just sisters, but brothers and sisters do an adequate job at looking at oneself?
Yeah, it goes back to accountability. If you talk to most of us black people, we think accountability means the ability to count. We don't think it's nothing else. You sit and you look, and nobody wants to say what they did. What she said was perfect. When she kept saying, when she told a guy, if you're attracting these kind of people, what are you doing to attract them? You can't keep saying, man, women ain't. You ain't. Your picker's off.
Your picker is off.
Yeah, you need to reevaluate. You need to step out of the game. You know how many women I tell when I do counseling that you need to take a step out of the dating game. You don't need to go and find somebody else to complete you. I don't believe in 50-50 makes a whole person. There's two people. You just took half of me.
Right. Two broken pieces of glass still is two broken pieces of glass.
Here's the last thing I just want to say, because I agree with her, and what I'm saddened about is there's a man on this panel that is married, and yet we don't go to him when we're talking about relationships just to ask him, because he has something.
Jeff is a failure. We don't fuck with Jeff. What are you doing?
What hurts me is every time you watch a white show, every time you watch a white show or any other show when they're talking about relationships, the guy who's moderating is married. The people who are giving the advice is married, so they're trying to get you to that point. But with us, it's always a bunch of single people arguing about how they can keep a relationship, and that's strange. It's like having unemployed people tell you about how to get a job.
Well, let me. I don't agree with that. Hold on. And I'm gonna come to you, but I need to shut that shit down.
Sugar
Tommy.
crush.
Seriously. At the end of the day, relationship is a human experience that happens from the moment you are born. You are always in relationship.
We're talking about
so let me just say, intimate relationships happen when you share intimacy. And you don't have to be married in order to share intimacy. So again,
no, I was saying, why don't we having a lot of people from different?
Let me just.
I'm divorced and I'm in a long-term relationship.
She's
in case
divorced.
You care to know, and I'm a marriage family therapist. In case you care to know,
right? But let me just say, because
I was only just pointing out that the man.
I understand, but let me just say, no, it's not an argument.
Married doesn't
it's not an argument.
I just wanted to hear from him.
But let me just say this: we gonna come back to him.
That's what I said.
But just hold on. You hold on.
Rewind the tape. That's what I said.
But this is the point that I'm trying to make. That's another misnomer that I think we find in the African American community is you'll hear people say things like, you can't talk about relationships unless you're married. Like, you know who else runs into this problem? Bishop Noel Jones, right? Very profound cat, very deep cat, and gets hit up a lot because he's single. But he counsels couples. See, you can go through the fire, come out on the other end, and have a toolbox of information that you can now disseminate and help other people with. And you can be single while doing that. So I think what happens is we have this idea that, okay, if you're married, you're now an authority. No, relationship is an ongoing process that's always evolving. And what we don't want to be, and what we need to stop being, is married to the idea of certain things being more important or more valid than others. Jeff?
I'm glad you cleared that up, Zoe, because for a second here, I thought the show's topic was about getting your shit together in order to work towards being at least a committed couple, since marriage is a shitty word today.
It is a shitty word.
So I don't know what the fuck Tommy was talking about. You're out of your mind, man.
Tommy's crazy.
Because you're saying that intimate relationship can be shared by people who are not married. You are exactly right. Well, we are in relationship with every other human being on the universe from birth. So I'm in a relationship with this dude. He's a tick above stranger. That is my relationship.
He's
with
talking
him.
about.
But when I talk about getting our shit together, he's not looking at me going, "Hey, man, I can't be the engineer today for you because your shit's not together." So, and that is almost, I can't tell you what it is, but I can tell you what it looked like. I can tell you what it looked like. And it looked like what y'all are saying is that Tommy was out of his fucking mind for bringing up the fact that Jeff Brown is married. Now, granted, I am the wrong nigga to ask for advice.
I know this nigga.
But I cannot say that he was out of his mind for bringing that up. Because,
no, he's not out of his mind.
Okay, well then, let's back it up a bit.
Yeah, I said it would be nice if I heard more. Everyone heard it, but nobody else heard it.
No. I think what happened was a communication issue. For instance, I'm going to give you an example, because we always go back to communication.
Back to it.
I'm saddened that to see
this
that
nigga don't get to talk.
I'm saddened to see that we have a married man on the panel. Now, if this was a white show, the white moderator, now that's the route he went. He could have said, we haven't heard from Jeff. Jeff is married. Come on, chime in. Different. I think the first way kind of and this is about communication.
You saying he's bad at communication?
I'm saying it set up a defense.
Tommy?
It triggered a defense mechanism because what it did say was that, I'm saddened was the intro, and here's why, and we have a bunch of single people talking around moderating, and didn't really know our statuses. I mean, it just was very presumptive, and it came off defensive, as opposed to saying, Jeff is married. Let's holler at Jeff. That's a totally different.
Do you know where he
thing.
jumped to that conclusion?
Communication.
I'm the only one here wearing a ring on my left hand that I know.
Doesn't matter. We're talking about communication, Jeff. So if you want to be received, there's ways to say it to be received.
Okay.
Is that what
guys, back up. Okay, sisters, let me. Here's what. Okay, and again, I can't tell you what it is.
Okay.
I'm working with a Chicago high school public education from the 80s, so forgive me. It looked like what you said. This reminds me of something that I teach my daughter. Jeff Brown rule number 361. A compliment to one person is not a diss to you.
Another, right.
So
if he says it is sad that we have not heard more about a relationship from the one man who is married, he's not saying fuck y'all cause y'all ain't. He's saying I happen to, and that's another thing. Rule number 629. A man, even when he's lying, only means the shit coming out of his mouth. He does not mean the shit he didn't say.
Simple.
He didn't say, you know what? Fuck you guys for talking too much and you're not married, and fuck you so for having a show about relationships when your unmarried ass shouldn't. We should hear from Jeff. He's saying simply this. It is a shame that we have not heard more from the dude that's married.
I'm not married, so I would be dissing myself if it was a diss. It doesn't make any sense.
Was there nothing else said after that?
Huh?
Was there nothing else said after that?
He compared black folks to white folks.
There was context.
Yes.
It was, it was that, and then it was also talking to a bunch of single people. So this is the thing, Jeff. I'm not saying what Tommy's point is. Tommy's point is well received.
Okay.
We should hear more from you. Okay. I'm just saying, I'm trying to help and say why 1, 2, 3 people responded that way. That's all I'm saying. And if you're in a room full of, and it's 5
moderators, and I gotta hit it back again. So a compliment to one person is not a diss to you.
Right. So listen to this. And this is what I think. I think this is awesome. I love this kind of shit. And I'll tell you why. Because to me, this is a snapshot, right, of the entire culture across the country, of how we interface, of how we get down. Now, there were some tools that were laid out. There were some points that were made. And I think if the listening audience is paying attention to what was presented in terms of tools, in terms of fixing, like you pointed out, communication, and then you gave examples.
I tried.
No, this is all excellent. But I think we have to go through these type of conversation and go through this process in order for us to find a better way to link and relate, to speak, communicate, and relate. This is necessary, right? Mm-hmm. Do we not agree?
No, yes, I agree.
This is necessary. And Jeff?
Yes.
What you playing Candy Crush?
Dude, I play Candy Crush.
This nigga's playing.
It helps me pass
Is that
the
your
time.
coping, Jeff?
It is my coping.
Is that your
Because
coping?
I have
That's
a
your
bunch
coping?
of shit I want to say, but I got to remember I'm not on by myself. So in order not to explode, I hear what y'all saying. I put it on the back burner, and then I'm trying to get off of level 38. I do not understand how there are women on 245. Guys usually are on lower levels with this. I am struggling with level 38. If there's anybody out here who can help me with that, callers call in about it.
You know what? We haven't had a sighting of Travis Bickle. What would Travis Bickle do to fix the African American male-female morass?
Morass. Okay, first thing, and thank you so much for calling me in. You say fix. I figure, what the hell? Why fix what ain't broke? All right? What y'all are doing over there in the black community, do on. I don't give a shit. I don't give a flying rat's ass. I mean, look at what we're doing to the men. We're locking them up. We're killing them. They're fucking each other. I mean, that leaves a whole bunch of y'all for us to choose from. And if you notice, have you ever seen, well, I'm sure, Margo, you're going to tell me there's one out there.
That's right.
But have you ever noticed the black women that the white men get? Oh, they get straight dimes. They ain't fucking around. If you're listening to this show and you got 3 kids and a broke down soccer van, there ain't no white man looking for you. He ain't looking for you. He looking for your niece. He ain't fucking with you. All right? We do not fuck around with stretch marks and extra kids. Nope. We want the cream of the crop.
Stretch marks and extra
That's
kids?
it. Extra kids is more than one. More than one's an extra kid, ain't it? You got 2 kids, you got an extra kid. We don't need that shit. So we get the best.
So let me ask you, Travis.
Yeah.
Because of this ongoing conflict between black men and women in terms of relationship, is the Klan technically out of business?
No, we're just on other things. The demise of the black man is on autopilot. We don't deal with that shit. You really think we waste meeting time? All right. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait just a goddamn minute now. We set up the time. We set up the places. We get out in the middle of the dark with a 7-foot lowercase t. We light that sumbitch on fire, and you think we gonna spend our time talking about what niggers do to one another? You know how much kerosene costs? You didn't spend no time on that shit. That's your shit. You're doing great. Keep talking about one another. Keep treating dark-skinned people worse. Keep shooting each other. Keep eating pork. We love all that shit.
Right.
All right? I'm telling you, just leave the good-looking black women to us. Don't worry about it. We'll find them.
That was great. Tommy, my question to you, and I think a lot of your fans and my fans, and people be hitting me about Tommy. Mm-hmm. They be hitting me like, yo. My question to Tommy is, what could you say to sisters in a way, because you know with sisters it's very important, tone and delivery, right? Like this one sister, you posted something.
When they talk to you?
Posted something on my Facebook. It was your video, but I posted it on you, and the sister she was like, God damn. She was angry, and she emailed me and said, he's right. I'm just disappointed in the way he's saying it. My question is, if you could have the cure to cancer but needed to get cussed out before somebody gave it to you, wouldn't you accept the cussing out just to get the cure to cancer?
Bitch, I got a cure for cancer. What did you call me?
You got stuck at bitch. So my point is, there is value in what Thea was saying when we can get further if we find better ways to communicate. If you had 3 things to communicate to sisters that would bring them closer to us, brothers, good brothers, what would you say?
Well, I always start off by telling people I don't work for Domino's, UPS, or FedEx. So people don't pay me for my delivery. What I do is what I do.
Wow.
What?
Either you understand it or you don't. People treated Jesus the same way. Didn't like his delivery. They killed a man because they didn't like his delivery. If he had said it in a way we could digest it. Well, talking to the same people who eat pork and meat, and they don't mind trying to digest something that stays in their colon for years. Talking to the same people who listen to Lil Wayne, who they pay millions to cuss them out all day. But all of a sudden, when I say something that's right and true and can help you, but it's a problem, then that goes farther than what I'm saying and how it's delivered. It goes to the fact that someone wants to fight against the change, because that's what human beings fight against every year. That's why we have all of these things. We have more things to make us look the same age we were 10 years ago than we do have things to actually make us better.
Inside, internally, mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
Because we want to stay the same. Man fights against something he will never win against, and that's change.
Yeah.
Change will happen whether you change with it or not. Darwinism. Now, if I could tell people anything, especially black women anything, and black men too, every time I talk crap about the black men and tell them what they don't do, as the brother said earlier, well, we're accepting. When I say black men need to take care of their kids, nobody get up and say, yeah, but I do. We be like, yes, they do.
Yeah.
Or no, we don't.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're not going to argue.
Not the man I know.
We're not going to take the side of the ratchet.
Right.
There's no reason to. We know these people exist. We don't pretend they don't exist.
You just hate black men.
Right. We don't say your daddy black. You've never heard that statement.
Right.
So what I would like for people to actually do is step back. And if something does not relate to you, then don't eat it. But if it does relate to you, regardless, it's like a shot at a hospital. No one wants to get a shot. No one wants to get a lot of things that clean them out and help them. So no matter how it's given to you, if you can see value in it, because there's a reason why every week 2 million people listen to me. I don't think I'm that wrong. So maybe if you could just open up and say, if I really want this relationship with this other group, because there's a big fight between the black men and the black women. If they could just step back and say, I'm not going to always look for what you said and what I find wrong in what you said. If you change that one little approach and say, let me see if I can find something right in what you said. That would change.
That's a hell of, I'm a big book guy. There's this guy, author, his name is Robert Anton Wilson. And he wrote the book called Prometheus Rising, Schrodinger's Cat. He's got a whole bunch of books. Excellent, right? Quantum psychology, dope guy. This motherfucker created a science, a logic. It's called maybe logic. He said if people would just use maybe as opposed to is, because is definitive. That is that. No, that might be. That may be that. He said if the world would start using maybe over is, he said the world would wake up 75% saner. And I think that's the problem with us. So I'm going to throw it to Margo, and then I'm going to end with Thea. Thea, 3 things that brothers and sisters can do to pull each other closer together.
3 things that I believe that people can do, and they're very important things. And one of them, you were saying before, but we have to work at home first. Personal development is the most important thing, and the best investment you can make in yourself is making sure that you're sound spiritually, psychologically, and the best way to do that is to take some time alone. If you have a breakup, take some time alone. You're so busy running. You want security, something to hold on to. We got to start holding on to ourselves and deal with what's wrong so that we can be cleaner and healthier and happier when we go into a relationship, not looking for somebody else to make us whole or make us happy or complete us or something like this. When you're well nourished on your own, you're not so hungry that you'll eat anything. So I think that's the first thing. So if you don't want to if you're tired of garbage men, you're tired of garbage women, no matter what race you are. Some people think they can escape the garbage man or woman in your life or the types of people that you choose, because it's not just attract, because people can be attracted to you all day. It's about who are you choosing. That says a lot about what's going on up under the surface. So at the end of the day, I think that's something that you have to work on. It was something else I was going to say. It slipped my mind just really quick, but I know we don't have a lot of time. 2 more things that people can do is be more conscious about their choices, meaning understand your motivation or your intention behind what you're doing. If you're lonely and you're dating this guy just because you're lonely, you got to check that, because that's how you get in bad situations, and that's how you end up with
dating somebody because you're lonely. Great point.
And a lot of people do that, and then they complain about who they chose when really you were just choosing Mr. Right Now. You weren't choosing because it was based on your state of wellness.
I got something for you just for that.
Okay.
HOLE can't magnetize or date a WHOLE.
Ow!
Right.
That's
right, and that's what that
good shit.
Thank you. And the man on the phone earlier, the Hispanic gentleman that was dating black women, he said I was at this state of my life, and I was dating a bunch of ghetto women. So, and as I know from a lot of Hispanic people that I know, a lot of Hispanic people that I know, a lot of people that come from. A lot of Hispanic people that I know, men specifically, they seem like it doesn't matter how you look. They're drooling no matter what you look like. They're very highly sexed, and it's all about like sex. Ooh. So if you're going after women just for that, you can't complain about what you're gonna get.
Oh my God!
When you're going
some of
after
the juiciest fruit on planet Earth,
dude.
It's some good
before
smart
you
pussy out there,
die.
too.
Oh no! Good smart pussy is just harder to find.
But it's there.
It's there.
It's smarter because it knows how to navigate the bullshit.
It's there. Oh, believe me.
It makes because you can't let
I ain't trying to put myself out there. I got something at the house.
One more thing.
Okay.
The last thing that black women and black men and men and women from all races that you can do to help enrich your life right now and to get your shit together is to actually learn how to not be so reactive, but learn how to communicate better. So if there's black women out there, if there are black women who are just, women, we got to stop nagging. Take some time. Go jogging.
Treat your man like your bishop.
Write down what it is that you want to talk about, or even do some journaling. I think journaling is important because you get a lot of that steam blown off before you go to him, so you won't be so angry and worked up to where you just attack him when he hits the door.
So let me go to Thea and then Jeff.
I think it's actually a lot more simple than we tend to make it. The steps are simple, but the work behind the steps can be difficult. I think everyone should seek healing, and everyone should operate on the assumption that we need healing. I mean, because none of us have been on this earth and not experienced some form of emotional trauma or hurt, and we definitely replay that in our life. And I think whatever I say for you should also be what you look for in your partner. You want a partner that's seeking healing, that looks to heal, that wants to be whole. Even if they're on that journey, you want to know that that person's willing to do that kind of work. Know yourself and be clear. I think one of the things that create power struggle is a lack of clarity. And this is why I say communication is so important. This is why I do feel these things are important, because they get in things, style and how I do things can get in the way of clarity and the message, and the message can get lost. And so that happens a lot with partners. You know, we get caught up in each other's style and tone, and then we miss the message. So being clear in what you're saying and having an intention can make your life so much easier. Your anxiety will drop overnight if you just start saying, I really don't want to do that. I know one of the things I'm doing differently is I tell my boyfriend, I say, you know what? I really thought about this. And this is something that I need. Can you do that? Is that something you can do? And if not, let's talk about it. Because I think we expect men to guess and figure it out. And what women have to accept is that men they don't think the way we do. They're not going to guess your needs. You have to communicate them and be responsible for that. And the last thing I really think black couples need to do is seek joy. Have fun. Laugh. Everything doesn't have to be so serious. You can run down the beach too with your dog if you want to. Like, you can have those moments. It doesn't always have to be so tense and so combative. Enjoy each other.
So really quickly, how does this feel to you? In order to have what you want, you must first learn to want what you already have. And once sisters and brothers get into that zone, it's a wrap.
To see the
Jeff
value
Brown?
in it,
Three, really quickly.
Okay. Number one, with regard to black couples, I think, and with regard to the goodness of black people, I think that niggas should secede from black people and become their own race. They should be their own race of people. Two, black women understand that change is gotta be mostly you. It's mostly you, because we are the simplest creatures on the earth.
We follow your lead.
Men would walk around naked and funky, eating off the ground if it was not for women. That's why we buy our cars. That's why we get our fades. That's why we buy our clothes.
It's true.
You are the lead. If you said no more pussy for sagging would be out in 30 days. It would be done. You did not start most of this shit, but you have the power to change it all.
It's true.
I think that's possible.
The third thing is to just break to break the desire to be like anyone else. And in order to do that, you need to figure out who the fuck you are.
And love
you need to figure out, you need to embrace this. You love hearing it, but you don't embrace it. With the present company excluded. The black woman in her unpermed, unweaved, natural state is the earth's original blueprint for beauty. Any substitutions, any additions or subtractions are quantum steps backward.
Wow, good point. So let me do this.
That, and I've been called gay for it. A woman wrote me and said only a gay man would talk about a woman with weave. But she also said the only person that complains about women with weave are gay men and broke men.
Wow. Tommy, really quickly, where can my group of people find you and how they follow you and your YouTube page and all that, websites? Give it to me right now.
They can go to SotomayorTV.com. They can go to SotoNation.com. They can follow me on Twitter at TJ Sotomayor. That is SOTOMAYOR. I think you can just put my name in Google and like 100 things will show up.
Right, and this dude has been awake for 24 hours. So if you see him, he got a 5-hour energy and a pit bull, and none of that shit's working. So,
Sleep is for broke. Sleep is for broke people.
Yeah, that's right. Gay people.
So, but hey, Tommy, awesome show, man. You know, the shit you dropped is cold blooded. Margo, where can they find you?
Yeah, let's get the camera straight. Can we get some help?
Tall.
All right, everybody.
Aim the camera up.
I'm Margo Hudson of Destination Love Life. You can right now my social networking, Facebook and Twitter is a little bit down. I'm trying to get
Wonder
back online.
Woman.
But at Destin Love Life, I'm speaking Zoe Williams.
Sorry.
Thank
Jesus,
you.
from the
And you can
Isle
go to
of
YouTube.
Lesbos.
Okay, everybody. DestinationLoveLife.com is coming soon. We're working it out. Some things are going on. You're going to love it. Next year is going to be amazing. But YouTube, go to Destination Love Life 2. And if you want to read my great article that's up right now, I am the love and relationship editor at beautycomeforth.com. F-O-R-T-H. Go to beautycomeforth.com. Go to relationships, and it's about the relationship detox. You don't want to miss it, especially after today's show. It's very powerful.
And Thea, where can they find you in your new book?
My new book is available on Amazon through Barnes & Noble. I will have it with me. I'm performing at Lion Like Mind State in Pomona.
What's the name of it? Tell them what it
The
is.
book is called Murmurs of a Mad Woman, an unconventional memoir. It's. I will also be a fly poet at the Savoy this
But you're
Friday.
also a deaf poet.
I'm also a deaf poet.
I mean, this girl is retarded. She's ridiculous. Well, not really retarded, but she's really good. Yeah.
my Thea Monyee is Facebook and Twitter, and my website is TheaMonyee.com. Also, in November at the Women of Color Conference, we're presenting The Missus and the Mistress about how sexual competition erodes sisterhood. And it's a full-out play. It's going to be, we don't hold no punches, so everybody in there should feel uncomfortable or we didn't do our job.
Wow.
So we're very excited about that. Details will be on the website.
Excellent. Now, you can follow Zoe on Twitter at Zoe Williams, on Instagram, ZOSER Williams, Zoser Williams. You can go to my website, I am ZoeWilliams.com. Please buy my books, buy my shirts. This is the only way we're going to be able to stay in this mug and have a show.
Absolutely. I ain't doing shit, apparently, because you didn't even ask Jeff Brown.
I haven't forgot about you, Jeff.
Okay, well, you usually close, so I guess it is
I'm
rusty.
going to let you close.
I really feel like Jeff.
Do you want to close, Jeff?
No, I don't. I wanted to go in there and let you close like we normally do.
I'm letting you close, Jeff.
Oh, wow. Well, hunky fucking dory. How about
There
that?
you go. You know,
You
I've
cannot
had
have this long between shows again.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yes.
We can't have a break.
And you know what's so funny? I really ain't even doing shit.
And that's what you get. Close it, Jeff.
No.
Tell us how much of nothing is happening in your
How much marijuana? No.
Oh, boy.
Jeff Brown ringtones, they are here.
That's what I want.
Yes.
Are here.
Where, Jeff?
Ignorant
Where?
ass ringtones. Go to Mixer, MYXER.com.
I'm going right now.
Yes.
Mixer.com?
Mixer.com.
What's your favorite one?
The Sexy Indian Man.
There you go. Go get the sexy Indian man.
great.
Mixer.com.
You are so hot. I am wanting to come by your house with some curry goat and baby oil and rock your world.
Oh,
love it. Yes.
All right, listen. We got to go. Great show for the first one back. Appreciate everybody who participated. We'll see you next week. So what? We out.
Ow. I gotta pee.